We're Neighborhood Restoration, the young African-American trusted roofing company.
Changing the narrative of professionalism and integrity in the industry. Hey, how y'all doing today, man? It's Chase here with Neighborhood Restoration. I'm here with my good partner, Tony. And we just really here not to, be long-winded or nothing like that. We're here to just talk to you today about who we are, what we do, what actually goes into getting your roof approved or just roofing in general. So we're going to start it off with just letting you know a little bit about us. Me, I'm from here, the DMV, specifically Washington, D.C. and Maryland. Been in roofing now for about 7 years. Yeah, I just love what I do. I love serving you all.
How you guys doing? Tony Harris, your neighborhood roofer. Started off in beautiful Tallahassee, Florida, and ventured up here to the DMV and stumbled into roofing through reading, picked up Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And of course, Robert Kiyosaki talked about if you want to be successful in life, you must learn how to sell professionally. Got a background in sales with a major roofing company and got with my brother right here, Chase, and figured that we can put the plan together to start something very major for our community, and came up with Neighborhood Restoration and have helped an abundance of people throughout this journey. So just glad that we can give you a couple of moments of time to explain ourselves and let you know, the day-to-day struggles and presence of roofing.
And just to touch on one of the reasons why we even started the company, because again, we met at a major roofing company, and we were in Northern Virginia and things like that, helping out, I guess you could say, pretty affluent communities with a very mixed variety of ethnicities. And one of the things that we had in mind when we started the company was definitely to bring it back to our community and help educate our people, because one of the trends that we saw was a lot of people that look like us don't really have a lot of knowledge in their insurance policy, don't really have a lot of knowledge in the whole claim process. Like, one thing that really surprised me was in the affluent communities, hey, you got storm damage, let's file a claim. Cool, what's the number? Let's call them now. That's how the homeowner there takes it, you know what I mean? But in our communities, it seemed like there was some type of fear that lingered over all of the people that I ran into that looked like me. You know what I mean? File a claim? No. Can we do some repairs? How much you would charge? Stuff like that. So that really fueled us starting this company as well.
Most definitely. I think on top of that, too, we had a major advantage that a lot of other roofers don't have. And that was us going into the insurance side and understanding what insurance companies look for when it comes to the type of damages that's needed to get a roof 100% approved. So before we actually ventured into starting our own business, Chase himself was a third-party inspector for insurance. I went and got my adjuster's license. So it kind of just taught us, tools to the trade on what needed to be done, seen, looked at in order to get a roof 100% approved on the insurance side of things. And we're able to present that knowledge to our community and our homeowners and give them the education needed to really go across the finish line with our expertise. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to be where we're at now, knowing this journey, knowing the roads we had to take to really be true professionals in this industry.
Agreed. And to touch on that, definitely, like, being a third-party inspector, you really work with every major insurance company, and all insurance companies really have different different protocols when it comes to inspecting a roof. So we were really able to gain that insider knowledge on what, let's say it's USAA, like what specific things USAA look for in particular, and just different trends you might see with specific insurance companies. We'll know how to approach it pretty early on, just based off who your insurance company is. We'll know how to then approach the inspection, approach filing a claim, and the whole 9 yards.
Most definitely, most definitely. I think a big part of the I would say stigma of homeowners filing claims is knowing that automatically a lot of homeowners are going to get partial approvals, and us being experts in the industry, we know that the situation, not the situation, but the journey is just getting started by receiving that approval or that partial approval. So being able to allow the homeowners or educate the homeowners to let them know that, hey, beforehand, we're going to get up on the roof, file the claim with your insurance company. And when that initial estimate come back, they're going to only approve 5 or 6 shingles. So don't be alarmed. This is just the starting portion of the journey, which allows us to say, hey, insurance company, you're acknowledging there is storm damage on this roof. And now we're able to go in and figure out if the shingles are discontinued or if we need to perform repair attempts, which a lot of homeowners, once again, aren't privy of this information.
Yeah.
But educating them on these topics just allows them to understand that roofing isn't just swinging and hammering nails. It's a lot more intricate details with aligning the story the proper way, so the insurance company knows that, hey, we can't just repair this roof. A full roof replacement is needed. So bringing that insight and knowledge into a homeowner's eyes, I think it really situates us on a different level than a lot of other roofers out here that's just going after retail roofing or just ready to give an estimate. We're giving that education that's truthfully needed to allow a homeowner to succeed when it comes to handling the most major repair to their home.
For sure. Very much agree. And that really goes into like the value we bring to a homeowner, because anybody can file a claim and it's storm damage on the roof. That's really what even gives us the probable cause, if you will, to file that claim. Anybody can do that. Anybody can get up and inspect the roof and take pictures of the damage and all of that. But one thing that I've noticed since I've been doing this is an abundance of homeowners who we might come in contact with, and they filed a claim before. And like Tony was talking about, they've got a partial approval, and the homeowner that, or the contractor that they filed the claim with is ghosted them. You know what I mean? Because they got a partial, and it seems to me that most contractors only know how to really deal with a full approval and don't know the steps to get it across the finish line. And it's really, I won't say it's a lot that goes into the interim from partial approval to full approval, but it does take some knowledge, and it is a skilled practice, to be honest.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of the partials, how often do you say we're running into homeowners that give up after getting that partial approval?
To be honest, in my experience, I would say we get about 80%. In my opinion, 80% of people are, and I'm saying 80% because you say they're ready to give up. Now, out of the 80%, of course, with education, you can turn that number into maybe like 30%. But a lot of times, like I've even had homeowners that have gotten a partial, and I couldn't convince them to just let me pick that claim back up and take it from there. They were just done with it because it was a partial, and the education that they had on that partial was likely minimal.
Well, I think the biggest issue is most homeowners are getting that education from the insurance company, and the partial, it realistically is a point towards the insurance company, because the homeowner does not realize that if that partial closes out, it's basically a strike against them.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we're able to come in and educate and let them know, hey, don't worry, you do have a partial. It is acknowledgement that there's storm damage on the roof. But if we don't fight this all the way through, it could be a strike against your insurance policy. And now the insurance company wins and they're able to drop the homeowner without ever having to pay out anything. And now this homeowner has been penalized for 20 years paying a $2,000 a month premium, and never being able to take advantage of what rightfully so they deserve. So those partials for me, honestly, is a great thing to see because it allows me to instantly go in and show a homeowner that, hey, our value is being able to turn this partial into a full approval, which is not only going to save you money, but it just keeps your resume intact when we're talking about what the insurance company looks at and how they count filing claims against a homeowner if it's not handled correctly.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely agree. So you would say that you've picked up, I guess, quite a few partials from homeowners and not even really having to file a new claim once you've done an inspection?
Of course. And most of the time, that's something that we try to do to ensure that the homeowner's not getting too many strikes against them. And once again, they don't know this information. So they're ready to either file a new claim or just give up after that denial and say, let me just pay out of pocket. And now they're paying a $20,000 expense on something that, once again, the insurance company should have rightfully so paid for. But just from the education from the carrier side of things, they're ready for that loss. They're ready for the homeowner to take that type of loss.
Yeah, and I want to think about it like in my mind, right? And maybe you can help with this question. What do you think it is that makes the homeowner not want to continue after a partial approval?
I think is, for one, the distrust in contractors, just by saying, okay, they had someone knock at the door that said they were going to guarantee them a brand new roof like their neighbors, like so many people say. Then they go in to file the claim and it does not turn into exactly what the person promised. So I think that's a big reason why the homeowners stay on the insurance side opposed to truthfully listening to the contractor. But us as contractors, I think we should be a lot more honest in the industry, especially when we're coming up to a homeowner, gaining their trust out the gate by letting them know, partial approvals are normal.
Right.
And it's a part of the process to ensure that we are able to educate, investigate, and get it across the finish line the proper way. So I think that's the biggest reason why a homeowner loses the trust and just, once the partial comes in, decides to not go any farther with us contractors.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. It's a sucky thing, I think, but, at the same time, being able to educate that homeowner on the back end or allow the next person on that homeowner same street go through the process. And now the homeowner who gave up initially is able to see their next door neighbor get the roof replacement and follow through with us as the roofer.
Yeah.
I think it still shows the first homeowner that, well, you know what? Maybe I should have listened to Tony and Chase in Neighborhood Restoration because these guys really do give great knowledge.
Right.
Most definitely.
One thing I definitely, so asking you that question, we have to just infer.
Yeah.
I really want to know from homeowners. So maybe if you watch this and you are a homeowner, maybe you could put some questions underneath for our next podcast that we might do, because I would really love to just answer any type of questions that you may have about this. If you feeling any type of reservations or anything like that with, filing a claim or just with getting your roof done in general. You know what I mean?
I think one of the biggest issues is too, as the clients, the homeowners, is not knowing the right questions to ask in the first place to their contractor. From the start, you should be knowing hey, what chances I have with State Farm that might make it more difficult than working with insurance company A, or what happens if I do get denied? What's that process like?
Right. Yeah. Or I may sometimes a big question I get is, once I, go policy shopping, what's a great insurance company that I should go with?
Most definitely.
And to be honest, the same thing I tell most homeowners, the insurance company matters to a certain extent, but it's really the type of policy that you set up. So I would really I wouldn't be asking for, hey, can I get the lowest premium? You know what I mean? I would really be asking to have everything explained, the type of policies explained. What is an RCV policy? What is an ACV policy? And different things like that. I would really just make sure I'm getting educated from whatever insurance agent I sit in front of, because this is protecting your home and this is what you're going to be paying likely for the next 20 plus years. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to be intentional and pay very good attention when you are setting up that insurance policy for your home.
Most definitely. No, I agree 100%. And I will just say, once again, as the homeowner, definitely ask your contractors, your roofers, these type of questions. And I mean, even ourselves, if we're not your roofers, we'll still be able to answer those questions and would love to answer those questions. So get in the DMs, give us a message so we can educate and help you out as a client, because once again, we know that the trust is needed from contractor to homeowner or contractor to client, because right now most of the trust is with the insurance company, is that us as the contractors are the biggest scammers. So I would say to the homeowners, just give us a holler, hop in the DMs once again, so we can be able to guide you the proper way so you are successful and not spending $20,000 out of pocket on something that your insurance company has promised you from.
The website is myrooflawyers.com.
For a reason.